Hi everybody, it's Create with Dee and I'm Dee Slater. Thanks for joining my Facebook Live, whether you watch the replay or maybe you're catching this on YouTube. Um, okay, so in April, what I decided to do was on Wednesday nights or Wednesdays on my Facebook Live that we would have an easel card series. So there'll be 4 different easel cards this whole month. And tonight it's kind of a threefer. I'm going to share with you the basic layout of an easel card. Many of you will already know this. And then I've got 2 other little ways to kind of think of that same thing. And so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to just mass produce this particular card. And so I'm going to be making 3 of them, but then the end of it, or the finishing part of the easel, will all be a little different. And we are going to use this really cute springish color palette of our polished pink and granny apple green. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll switch to the project only. Get this removed. Okay, so this will be actually what will be the grand finale card here. But an easel card is something that when the recipient gets it, it looks like a normal greeting card, but there's a little stopper mechanism. And in this case, I've made a little open box that can house a little cute York peppermint patty. They've got these spring color ones, and I'll share with you how to put this box together. But in the meantime, we're going to start with the basic easel card layout. And again, I'm going to do this 3 ways. So we're going to, while we've got all of our products out, I'm going to make 3 of each. Okay, so I'll put that to the side for a moment. And I'm going to be doing some stamping off. That's why I thought I'm just not even going to worry about changing out my grid paper to a clean one because I'm going to dirty it right on up. Okay, for each of our cards here today, again, it's the same layout. I'm just going to do 3 different versions of the stopping mechanism for our easel. I've got our polished pink cardstock cut 4 1/4 by 11. And to do the easel, what you'll want to do is score it at 2 3/4 and 5 1/2. So each of the card bases will have this look to them here. And then each card also will need a piece of 4 by 5 1/2 polished pink. And I just realized that I did not have those cut, so I'll have to get those here in just a little bit made. Each of our cards are going to have 2 pieces of basic white cut at 3 3/4 by 5, and then a matting piece of basic black of 2 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Okay, so that's our pieces for each of those. And what I'm going to do is we are going to do a little mass producing of this. Okay, I'm going to kind of angle this a little bit so that it's facing me. And what we're using today is the Timeless Tulips. This is a retiring stamp set. And I think it's on sale right now. So you can catch this on sale. We are using the Tulip Builder Punch. The Tulip Punch will be available. It's not retiring, but the stamp set is. And again, we're going to make 3 of our card fronts because we're doing the exact same 3. So kind of a tip too that once you find a layout, why not mass produce it? However, I kind of want to have the the bottom of this card be all filled up with our Granny Apple Green. Whoops, there we go. All right, so that's going to be our front, and each one of these are going to be matted on a piece of basic black. Like this is going to be on a full piece of, or not a full piece, but a fourth of a sheet of our polished pink. So this is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And we'll go ahead and mat this down. Okay, this will be our card front. I'm going to put this aside for a moment. And while I've got my inks out, I'm going to make what's going to be the bottom part of our card. Okay. Woo. There we go. We are on it. Okay, so let's see. Oops, that's not that. All right, so here's our easel, or our card base. And as you had seen, like here's the, like typically your card would look like this. But for the easels, what you do is you take the front flap and you fold it in half. So, and then also the more that you burnish it, the more that you give it a crisp edge, the better the easel is going to be. So I'm just really going to give it a nice crisp edge, and I'm going to open it up, and we'll put the smaller of the tulips down here on the bottom. For some reason, I like to put my bottom section down first. Get that layered on there. And I've got our other card bases. Again, I'm mass producing 3 of them. Okay, so we have those 3 down. Next, we're going to need a sentiment. And in the stamp set, there's all sorts of fun. Like there's a Mother's Day, there's the Easter. I'm just choosing to use the small little hello on it. That way, it's not really, if it's past Easter, it's not going to look too strange if they want to let it sit out. So just a little hello for this particular one so that it works well for all of them. I just put them on some scrap paper. I think these are 5/8 wide. And we're going to make some real simple little banner sentiments. What I'm going to do is just kind of guesstimate it. And I'm just going to take my paper snips and trim it in the middle and come out on either end and get that little banner. So I'm not going to overthink the banner on it. just going to kind of come in. Each one might be just a little bit different. And kind of guesstimating the middle of it here. Whoops. And if you need to come in and redo it, that's okay. Okay, then I have some basic black, some scrap basic black, and I wanted to kind of share with you how you can easily just kind of cut around some of these little banners. Not everything has to be like pre-punched or so. I just want a small little edge. And then since that's a small sentiment, and just take my snips, trim up, and kind of just do the angle cut around it with leaving a little border. And just that simple. I think I'll go ahead and skip those two for now. And then that way, you know, we can kind of see how we want to do it later on. All right, before I put this down, I did on the sample here, I had our polished pink ribbon tied around the bottom. And so we'll go ahead and do that. Want to have this done prior to putting it down. So I tied a bow, but I want you to know, if you want to, you can just tie a pretty knot. So I'm going to tie a knot on this one, just to kind of give you that, whoops, show you the difference on it. Sometimes doing it live versus, you know, actually recording a video, you can stop and start a video a little bit. And I'm thinking of that for my cute little bow here. Okay, I think that looks good. We'll just kind of cut our little tails off. So I wanted to show that you don't always have to make a bow, that if you wanted to just make a cute little knot, you could do that as well. Okay, we have that. Okay, let's put this down on our card bases now. Okay, we're getting there, guys. We are, I promise. Okay, for the easels, we want to go ahead and this is the your top section's going to go here. And we want to make sure not to put adhesive past our fold line. And since this is the same size as our card base, I can totally, completely cover this section here with our glue. So I want to make sure that I get a nice coverage on it. I can get that whole section. And then I'm going to line this up and lay it down. And this is why I wanted the ribbon on first. I want to sandwich the ribbon on that glue. And then this is our cute card. Okay, so then again, it's just going to be a matter of putting the stoppers. So let's go ahead and we'll do that on all of our cards. Whoops. Okay. All right. Yay. Okay, now we are ready to do, so this is like how it's going to prop up, but to make it a true easel, we need to put something here that this can catch on so that it stays standing up, and that thus making an easel card. So what I'm going to do is we are going to stamp some of our large petals out. And let me go get my white here. All right, so for each card, we are going to actually need 3 of the larger petals. And then on my one sample here, I'm going to need one, maybe two of them. I do have some of them punched out ahead of time, so we're just going to stamp what we would need for one set or one card. So I'm going to stamp 3 for the card front, and then 2, maybe up to 2 for the card base. And I'll get our tulip punch. I think I have to trim this down just a little bit. And you may have noticed that I angle stamped them just a tad. That's because when I feed them into my tulip punch, that the tulip image is slightly at an angle. Okay, so we'll get 1, 2, 3. Okay, those of you that know me know how much I love my coffee. I am needing to cut back on it, and oh my goodness, I can feel it. I am such a coffee caffeine junkie. I don't know if anybody else is like that. I'm not saying I'm going through caffeine withdrawals, but I'm sitting here going like I could definitely use a nice dark cup of coffee right now. Okay, let's get all of our little large punched, and you can punch leaves out too. So the tulip builder punches these large ones and one of the leaves. All right, so why do we need 5? Well, if you, on the card sample that I made on the large tulips, I've popped them up with dimensional foam dots. So that's what we're going to do next on the card front. I could have done that. I should have probably done that ahead of time when we were doing our card front. But we'll do this. So I'm putting 1 dimensional on there, and then this is really going to make our, maybe we could call it a field of tulips. Give it that 3D feel to it. And then this would be our hellos banner that we made. I stamped it 3, but I only made 1 banner. And so when I get done with our Facebook Live, I'll finish up the cards with the hello on all of them. Okay, so here's the card. And now again, we need a stopper. And this is where our other 2 tulips could come into play. And actually, I probably should get our, let's make some stems for them. And when we did the other ones, we went ahead and stamped it first, but this time I'm just going to go ahead and put the stems on. Okay, wherever we put our large tulips, that's going to be as high up as what the easel will actually stop at. So on this one, if I put the tulip here, I won't press it down, like that will be where it'll stop. So I think I like that right there. And we'll go ahead and put these 2 on as the same height. Okay, so now when we have our easel, we have this really cute little field of tulips. I hope you like that. Hi, Val. Thanks for tuning in. I'm just kind of looking over at the comments. So, and I'll kind of tilt this just a little bit so that you can see it better. So this is like, this would be a basic stopper right here where you have something that's 3D that's going to hold and stop and catch that. So this is just, again, a cute little hello. You can make it whatever sentiment that you want, and they can sit there and enjoy their little tulip fields. Okay, so this would be the basic easel card, is to have the stopper hold it back. But we're going to do a different variation, other variations. So here's basic one, number 1. The second one that we can do is we could just make it a cute little Post-it note holder as well. And so here I've got, this was a Post-it note that I had in my stash. And I thought, oh my gosh, this green would just be so pretty with it. And, you know, you can take, this was a full pad, and you could make this, you know, divide it into thirds or whatever, and you can make 3 of them out of it. And in fact, I think that's what I'm going to do. Because probably by the time somebody got through a whole pad of Post-it notes, it might be, it might be wintertime. So you could use, I probably would use tear and tape here, but I'm going to go ahead and, you know, just use my liquid glue, whoops, on that. And I'm going to stand up here. So again, this one might be, like, I probably don't have my stock or have my tulips. I probably should have kept this one down just a little further. But I'm going to put this one here. And now this is going to stand up nice and big now. Okay, so that it's here. And if you wanted to, you could gift something like this and even include a pen with it, so they would have that. But now they can sit there and have this next to wherever they want to put their to-do list or whatever else that they may want to have. But it's kind of fun to have this little image right here that they can enjoy as well. And I'll go in and I'll put, I have all of these extra pink tulips here, and I will go in and make those 3D. I think what would be fun too on this top one is if you wanted to put a little note on it, you know, like that says, you know, hey friend, you know, here you go. And you could even decorate it with, you know, your little saying that you'd like, or your little personal note, and then decorate the first pad that they have to bringing in your image. Okay, so this would be the second way that you can use an easel card on this basic layout, is to put a Post-it pad there and let them reuse it that way and enjoy it. And you know someone's going to sit this out and definitely enjoy your card if there's a Post-it note there. Okay, so our grand finale way of doing this is I had gotten at, you know, probably Walmart, some candy here for spring, and the York peppermint patties have these really, and they are springtime, so they don't have Easter eggs on them or anything. They're definitely springtime. And I'm like, oh my gosh, here's again like some pink that we could use. So I'm using the pink wrapper in this particular one of the York Springtime Peppermint Patties. And I designed a little box to use for that. And so let's see here where it is. So here's the box that I made. And then the little York patties fit right in those. So I wanted to share with you how I made this box. This box is a 4 by 2 3/4 piece of the Granny Apple Green, and it's scored a 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut onto the score line on opposite sides to make our little tabs for our box. And I'm going to kind of angle cut those just a little bit. That way when you use a cardstock that's 3D and you fold it, there's you get that little bit of excess, and I don't want any of the tabs to stick out. All right, I'll get my bone folder. Get some crisp edges here on the 4 sides. All right, fold my tabs in. And we'll get our liquid glue. Oops, let's put a little more than that. I want to make sure it holds. And kind of put our corners together. Do that on all 4 sides. It's just a heartbeat to dry. Then I'll fold in the tabs. And press that and press that. All right, now we've got our little tray or our little box bottom to hold our candy. And we'll bring in our card that we made. And just like before, like with the Post-it note, we're going to put this, kind of figure out where we'd like it. And I do have plenty of room on here now. Probably would do tear and tape on the box just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. The liquid glue will do great as well. And I'm going to center this. Oops, kind of not quite centered there. I didn't have it straight. And then our little York peppermint patty. That's right in there. Obviously, for something like the peppermint patty, this would be something that you probably would end up hand delivering. I think this would be super cute if you had something like this, greeting people at a Mother's Day gathering or a friend's desk, or, just if you want to stock up on your own secret stash of candy. You can sit there and just look at it and then refill it every day and say, okay, I haven't had my York peppermint patty yet. I'm going to go ahead and bring in our samples here now of what we've done here today. Whoops, I'll get rid of that one. Oh, that's a good, you could probably see how this one wants to release. Easel cards love memory. So the more that you can fold this and, have the cardstock remember where it's supposed to be, the better. So if you were gifting something like this, just make sure that you really play with that easel to open and close it so that it catches nicely for them and it doesn't, want to swing back. Okay, so here's the cards that have the hello on it that we did. We kind of just lay these down a little bit. So we have the basic easel card here. We have where if you wanted to, you could gift the Post-it note. And on purpose, I put this one back really high just so that you can see that you can play around with how close to the fold that you can go. And then, then if you even wanted to, you can make a little box for your easel card and fit whatever little goodies that you want to put in there for people to enjoy. All right, well, I hope everybody that you enjoyed our week 1 of easel cards and that maybe you'll give these a try. Okay, thanks for watching. Oh, Valerie says, what color of pink? This is the polished pink. That is in color that's still going to be available, I believe, for another year. All right, you guys, thanks for joining, and especially those that were able to join a little early. Thanks for watching. Happy crafting. Bye-bye.